Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. We're going to be discussing how to solve multi-step equations. This is part 2 of the linear equations series. So if you haven't watched part 1, go ahead and check it out. But let's get started and let's do example 1. So here in example 1, we have 2.5x minus 13 equals 2. So let's go ahead and look at negative 13 and 2. So the reason I circled them is because these are like terms. That means that we can go ahead and add and subtract these terms and they can work with each other. So let's add 13 to both sides of the equal sign so we can isolate x. That's our main goal when we're solving these type of equations. We're solving for the unknown, which is x in our case. So I add 13 to both sides. I get 13 plus 2 is 15, negative 13 plus 13 is 0, and 2.5x we just bring down from the original question. So plus 0 means nothing. It doesn't do anything or impact 2.5x, so we'll go ahead and remove it. So we have 2.5x is equal to 15, but x is still not isolated. So we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 2.5. What this does is that we have 2.5 divided by 2.5, which is equal to 1. All right, so if that's equal to 1, we can go ahead and cancel it out. So we have only x on the left side, so we accomplished our goal of isolating it. And on the right side of the equal sign, we have 15 divided by 2.5, which means that x is equal to 6. And you can go ahead and check if this is correct by plugging in that x value back into the original equation. Okay, let's go ahead and do example 2. So here, let's identify the like terms, 9x and negative 6x. The other like term is positive 15 and negative 12. So 9x and 15 can't work with each other because they're not like terms, but 9x can work with another term with x in it, with the variable x in it. All right, so let's go ahead and combine the like terms first on the right side of the equal sign. So 9x minus 6x is equal to 3x, plus 15 and negative 12, and the equal sign are all brought down from the original equation. Our goal is to isolate x. How can we do that? Subtract both sides by 15 so we can get rid of the positive 15 on the right side. So we have 3x plus 15, or 3x plus 0 actually, is equal to negative 12 minus 15. On the right side, the positive 15 minus 15, they cancel each other out. So now we have negative 12 minus 15 is negative 27. In other words, negative 27 is equal to 3x. But we still haven't isolated the variable. So we're going to do that by dividing both sides of the equal sign by 3. So x is equal to negative 9. A negative number divided by a positive number is equal to a negative answer. You can go ahead and plug it back into the equation wherever x is displayed. All right, so let's go ahead and do example 3. So the like terms are negative 21 and negative 11. We can go ahead and combine it. Our goal is the same, which is to isolate the variable c. So we add 11 to both sides. That gets rid of the 11 on the right side of the equal sign. So we have negative 11 plus 11 is positive 0. And we bring the half c down. We say negative 21 plus 11. What is that answer? So the answer is equal to negative 10. From here, what are we going to do? We have negative 10 is equal to half c. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite that for you guys because we know that plus 0 means nothing. Soon I'll stop writing plus 0, but I just want to do it step by step just so we don't get confused where all these numbers are coming from. All right, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because I want to isolate c. And how do I do that? I can multiply the denominator with the same number numerator, if that makes sense. So I multiply both sides by 2, so I can cut out the 2 2's on the right side, so I can just have C, and C is equal to negative 20, since negative 10 times 2 is negative 20. All right, now these type of problems, they get a little bit more tricky because now we have distribution. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to solve the distribution part and then worry about the other terms later. So 2 times 1. So what we have to do is we have to multiply 2 with the 2 factors in the parentheses. So we have 2 times 1 plus 2 times negative x. If you don't know distribution, I'll go over it in a little bit. But essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to associate the sign in front of the number with the number. So keep that as a habit when you're doing math, just so we don't mess up the signs. Because when you get longer problems, then it's easy to mess up the signs. And you can get the wrong answer just by a silly mistake. All right, so we have 2 minus 2x on the left side and bringing down the positive 3 and bringing down the negative 8 and the equal sign. So now all we have to do is combine the like terms. The like terms on the left side are 2 and positive 3, meaning 2 plus 3, which is 5, minus 2x, which is equal to negative 8. Now we can say that 5 and negative 8 are like terms. Subtract 5 from both sides because we're trying to isolate x. So what is 5 minus 5 on the left side? That's just 0. We go ahead and take negative 2x, and we do, on the right side of the equal sign, negative 8 minus 5. All right, so negative 8 minus 5 is equal to negative 13. The 0 doesn't do anything. We can go ahead and get rid of it. It doesn't have to be in our problem. So we have negative 2x is equal to negative 13. Divide negative 2 on both sides because negative 2 divided by negative 2 is equal to 1. So we have x on the left side, so we have successfully isolated it, and x is equal to 13 over 2, which is equal to 6.5. A negative number divided by a negative number is equal to a positive answer. And you can go ahead and plug this back into the main equation. All right, from here we have another distribution. What I'm trying to do is really give you problems that are a little bit complicated, that can make your brain work a little bit. So I'm going to start by solving it parts by parts. So we have negative 4, and we have to distribute it into 2m and into 5. If distribution doesn't make sense, we'll go ahead and go over it in just a second. So I took negative 4 and I multiplied it by 2m. I'm going to take negative 4 again and multiply it by positive 5. Now, how does this happen? I take the negative 4. The sign in front of the number matters, so keep that in mind. And I multiply that by 2m. I go ahead and add. Why do I add? Why don't I subtract? Why don't I multiply? We'll go over it in a second. But the second part is negative 4 times the next term, which is positive 5. And we're going to go ahead and add these two parts together. So that is what that plus sign is. So, you may be tempted, okay, we can just make that negative, but I want to go through every single step. Where are these signs coming from? So we're going to add, and we're going to worry about organization and signs later, right? It's going to resolve itself at the end. So what is negative 4 times 2n? That is negative 8m. We're going to add that to negative 4 times 5, which is negative 20. Then we see a plus and a minus. And now is the time you should worry about the signs. So you have to fix that. So a negative number plus a negative number gives you a more negative number. Essentially, you're just doing negative 8m minus 20. So the negative will overpower that positive sign. All right, from here, we only did one segment. Now we have to do the rest of the problem. So it's a negative 8m minus 20 minus 3m is equal to 35. Combine the like terms on the left side of the equal sign. So we have it equal to 35, and negative 8m minus 3m is equal to negative 11m minus 20, which is equal to 35. We want to isolate m now. So we're going to add 20 to both sides of the equal sign. So we have negative 11m, and that is equal to 35 plus 20, which is 55. From here, you should know by now that the 0 means nothing. So we have negative 11m is equal to 55. Divide both sides by negative 11. So m should just be equal to negative 5. A positive number divided by a negative number is a negative answer. All right, so hopefully that all made sense. If it doesn't make sense and this is too complicated, feel free to watch part 1. I have much simpler examples there. It's very important to have a base. Okay, let's look at this question. This question we have to distribute twice. Okay, so there are two ways to actually do this problem. The first way is what we've been doing, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's distribute 5 into 3 and into negative x. So 5 times 3 plus 5 times negative x. And we add that to 2 times 3. So we're going to take 2 and we're going to multiply it by 3. And then we're going to take 2 again and we're going to multiply it by negative x. So 2 times 3 plus 2 times negative x. All right, and that is all equal to 14. Now we can go ahead and simplify this. So 5 times 3 is 15, plus 5 times the negative x is a negative 5x, plus 2 times 3 is 6, plus negative 2x is equal to 14. Then you can go ahead and figure out the signs. So 15 minus 5x, the negative overpowers the positive, plus 6 minus 2x, the negative again overpowers the positive. It always will. That's equal to 14. Now we begin combining parts. We combine the like terms. So 15 and 6 we can combine, and we can combine negative 5x and negative 2x. So 15 plus 6 minus 5x minus 2x. Take the sign with it when you're moving things around. Take the sign with it. Create little groups and circles if that helps. All right, 15 plus 6 is equal to 21, and negative 5x minus 2x, we're going more negative, is just negative 7x. That's equal to 14. We want to isolate x. That's our main goal. So we're going to subtract 21 from both sides. So 21 minus 21 is 0. Minus 7x, we just brought that down, which is equal to 14 minus 21. So what is 14 minus 21? That is just equal to negative 7. All right, so now we have a question. Negative 7x is equal to negative 7. We still need to isolate the x value, so we can go ahead and divide both sides by negative 7. So in the end, we just have x is equal to 1. And that is our answer. All that work just for x to be equal to 1. And you can go ahead and plug it into your equation, and you should be able to get two sides which are equal to each other. So the left side should be equal to 14 in this case. All right, and this was way number 1. So there's another way to do it. It's much easier. If it doesn't make sense, just stick to way number 1. But way number 2, it's a little bit more variable heavy, I guess. So we have 3 minus x. What do we notice about it? We notice that it's repeated twice in our problem, and it's essentially the same, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 minus x and store it in a variable, a. That variable can be a, b, c, any variable. So I'm going to go ahead and in my original problem, wherever it says 3 minus x, I'm going to go ahead and put a. So I have 5a plus 2a is equal to 14. So now I'm like, wow, this looks much better, right? So 5a plus 2a is equal to 14 is essentially my new problem. So what is 5a plus 2a? These are like terms. We can go ahead and add them. So 5 plus 2 is equal to 7a, and that's equal to 14. and we can divide both sides by 7 to get a is equal to 14 over 7, which is just means a is equal to 2. But a is not what we're trying to find. We're trying to find x. That's what we're trying to find. And a stands for something. It stands for 3 minus x. So we're going to go ahead and put 3 minus x back into a. So 3 minus x is equal to 2. We add, or we subtract 3 from both sides. So we have 3 minus 3, which is 0. And we just keep negative x is equal to 2 minus 3, which is negative 1. Is it isolated? No, we got the negative sign, so we got to get rid of it. So we divide both sides by negative 1. Just a reminder that if it's negative x, it's a negative 1x. It means the same thing. Once you divide it, you get x is equal to 1. So same answer as way number 1. All right, so now we have example 7. So go ahead and try doing this one yourself. You can go ahead and pause the video. So what we're going to do in this type of a question, we're going to take negative 2 and we're going to multiply it by 7. Then we're going to take negative 2 and multiply it by negative y. So let's do that part first. And so negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Then we do negative 2 times negative y. The reason why I put this question in here is because of the negative 2. You have to take the whole bubble and distribute it, not just the 2. You got to bring the negative along. All right, negative 2 times 7 is negative 14. Negative 2 times negative y is a positive number, positive 2y. That means that on the left side we have negative 14 plus 2y. Bring down the positive 4 from the original equation. Bring down the equal, bring down the negative 4. Now this is our problem that we're going to work with. So we're going to go ahead and combine the like terms. Negative 14 plus 4, which is equal to negative 10 plus 2y is equal to negative 4. Then, you know the drill. We got to make y independent. So we're going to go ahead and add 10 to both sides of the equal sign. Once you do that, you get 2y on the left side and negative 4 plus 10 on the right side, which is 6. So 2y is equal to 6. And y is still not independent. So we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 2. This means that 2 divided by 2 is equal to 1. So y is equal to 6 divided by 2, which is just 3. So thank you for watching this video. If these questions were too complicated, go ahead and watch part 1 or rewatch any of these problems in this video. Thank you so much for watching our video, and please tune in for part 3.